I just wanted to make that point because I think sometimes we get so in our heads when we're just out and about, walking through life, looking at other people and making observations. We often over exaggerate how people actually live. We really make it seem or appear like everybody got it put together. Everybody figured out life but you. You're the only one that doesn't know what's happening. And I'm here to tell you that that's in many cases that's not true.
But like, okay, so I can already hear like, okay, Carlos and RJ, but like, I definitely need help, but I never asked for help. I'm self-made. I was raised in like the figure it out on your own
Yeah.
society and all that stuff. Everyone around me, like whenever I try to ask for help, they laugh at me. How do I go about like finding like who do I ask for help then? How do I go about starting that process? Who do I go to? Like what's
Beautiful.
mhm.
No, no, no.
What
It's
would you say?
beautiful. No, the first thing I would say, because I always do this with clients, right? The first thing I
Mhm.
try to establish and understand is, do you have a support system?
Right.
First question to ask yourself, everybody, do you have a support system? If the answer is yes, who do you consider to be in that support system? And when I say support system, I would like to define the term so we're all on the same page. I mean people that I'm willing to confide in, that again, I can be real with, I can be honest with, I can tell the truth about
Mhm.
what I am dealing with, right? Once I have those people, in many cases, I will say I have some men, thankfully, that are in this situation. They have the people around, they just don't use them. So coming in therapy, it's like, hey, I've identified these people too. I think it's a great idea. Let's go talk to them.
Mm.
Because you've already developed a level of trust, right? So I don't have to convince you, go trust this person. You're like, no, that's my homeboy, that's my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, grandma, Thea, whatever. These are my people. I'll go talk to them. Now, the other side, when I say, do you have a support system? You say no. So what happens when you say no? Now we got to build one.
Yep.
Right. Now we got to build a support system. We all need one. To the main point of why we're here today, asking for help. If you're not willing to create that support system, then you're not going to know where to go when you are in need, right? And to be clear for everybody, we all going to need help at some point. Everybody. So if it's in your mind that this is ridiculous what they're talking about, and I think it's a bunch of BS, you're wrong. I'm very confident in telling you you're wrong. You're going to need somebody, and it's okay to need people. Okay, we just want it to be reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there for you, and you're there for me. But anyway, so we got to build it. We got to build the support system. So how can we do that? Sometimes it's identifying people that are in our lives, and maybe we've just been like hesitant, or we've just been a little resistant to opening up to them. But they've been willing to be there for us, but we've just never asked. I've literally had young men, we've done this exercise. They've had people around them that would love to be there, but they were always very afraid because of exactly what we've been talking about so far today. So it's me giving a little encouragement saying, listen, man, and this is, to anybody that's watching, if you have some people that are there around you, but you've never really asked them to be there, or you've never allowed them to be there for you, try it. Try it with something small,
Mm-hmm.
something that's not as risky to you. And use that as an example, because if they do show up, maybe it's just you need to vent one day, right? If they do show up for you, then you can start letting a little more and a little more and a little more. That's how you develop rapport. That's how you start to develop trust. That's how you start to develop confidence, right? It's over time, and that's totally fine. So the necessity would be is that we want to grow that over time organically. And then we want to, you don't have to have this massive support system. It could be like 3 people, 4 people, whatever. But people I'm going to be real with. You start to let them in, you start to talk to them about things. And then next thing you know, you're regularly asking for help. You're regularly exchanging that energy. You're not sitting here like, I'm not supposed to. I can't. I'm weak. This is not what we do. You shut all that out. And it gets a little easier, as we've been talking about, to engage with others when you do need that assistance. So hopefully that gives a good breakdown for if you need to build the support system or if you don't have one, what are some ways you can go about that? But at the end of the day, we want you to start.
Definitely. I just to piggyback on what you're saying about going to people that are already around you, who can serve as that space for you. Sometimes it's even it's even helpful to let them know ahead of time. Again, just bringing it back to the intention. Um, Especially in our communities, I know that many times the immediate reaction when someone's telling you something difficult is judgment or criticism or anything like that. Sometimes you could, before you even start saying anything, be clear with them and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be vulnerable right now. I would really appreciate it if you're, supportive, open, helpful in this conversation so that I can actually be open and we can figure out a way moving forward. That way, they understand how to support you, and they know what to do, what behavior to engage in, what to say, so that you can get the best out of the actual interaction.
Yes.
So start with intention. Start with intention. That's a really, 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 really powerful.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, because people don't keep this in mind too. People don't know. They don't know what you have going on. I told one of my clients this, I think it was yesterday. I was like, things look so great. This is a great exercise. People think when you're on the outside, you're just walking around, right? Let's say like you're sitting at like Starbucks or something, or you're at the grocery store, and you see like a couple walk by. It's so easy to look at them and think their life must be great. They probably don't have any issues, Or you see a guy walking around, fit, put together. We just fill in the blanks. We make all these assumptions.
So the brain does.
Yeah, I'm sure like everything is going great for them in their life and that they don't have any significant challenges that they are overcoming maybe even right now.
Mm-hmm.
But because I get to do what I do, I know that that's often, not always, but often far from the truth. A lot of times we have a lot of stuff going on, again, particularly men, that's just underneath the surface. But because we're so reluctant and hesitant to deal with stuff, we're going to push it to the side. And then when we are on our own, we're usually just imagining that everybody else has their life figured out and put together, and we're the only ones that don't. Like, we're the only ones that are struggling, right? Carlos's life is great. Just watch his Instagram, look at his Facebook, look at whatever he's posting. There's no problem, like zero, no problems at all. And I'm here to tell you that in many cases, that's false. It's absolutely not true. And the more that we can, be willing to get to the honest, real life interactions and situations that we deal with, the more likely our life can actually start to mirror that. You actually can get to a point where not that nothing challenging happens to you, but you get to this point where you sort of glide through life, where it's like, unless something really, truly troubling happens to you, I can sort of bounce it off. It's like, this thing happened. It's okay. This person tried to say something mean to me. I'm good. Because I take good care of myself. I check on my mental health. I have people around me that I love and that I care about. You get sort of insulated, right? Like a buffer. It is possible to get there. It is possible to do that, but it requires us, of course, to change our thinking. And I just wanted to make that point because I think sometimes we get so in our heads when we're just out and about, walking through life, looking at other people and making observations. We often over-exaggerate how people actually live. We really make it seem or appear like everybody got it put together. Everybody figured out life but you. You're the only one that doesn't know what's happening. And I'm here to tell you that in many cases, that's not true.